I'm Amy, and I'm your nonfiction feminist. Let's talk about what a failure I feel like this month. I had a decent month, just not in the ways that I wanted to have a decent month, I guess. Let's talk. This wrap-up is being filmed on Friday, so it's a little early. I don't know what I'm going to finish by the end of the month, which I think is on Tuesday. But my schedule is crazy, and I need to go ahead and film this now. So, really quick, if you are new here, please like, subscribe, be my friend on social media, and don't forget to ring the little notification bell down below. I actually remembered to say that. I'm very proud of myself. So, let's start with the Backlist book challenge. So, September was me hosting the Backlist book challenge that I came up with to celebrate Backlist books. And ironically, this is also the first month that I started asking for advanced reader copies, which are definitely not Backlist books. Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books did a video about asking for advanced readers copies, and I did exactly the opposite of what she told me to do, or told her watchers, her audience to do. And I went ahead and asked for a bunch of ARCs at the same time, because I didn't think I would get any of them, and now I have like 5. So, hey, we have a little friend. Say hi, friends. Hello. So lots of ARCs in the month of my Backlist book challenge, which is not the way that was supposed to go. So for the challenge, I could not read any books that were published after 2010, which I did stick to. Are you trying to sit? Okay, I have a cat precariously laying on my lap. I don't know how long this is going to last, because pretty much his entire front half is falling off of my legs. But, anyways, I can't reach my books from here, right? Okay, not gonna upset the kitty. Read a mass paperback was the first prompt. I ended up reading, Mistborn, which, if you're familiar with my channel at all, you know I don't read a ton of fantasy, but, ow, he likes sucking on fingers and licking on fingers, and he keeps biting me. Out of love, but still biting me, and his teethies still hurt. Anyways, wow, I can't stay on topic this morning, because obviously I have a pile of cuteness that I'm dealing with. Mistborn! I had a friend who was bothering me about reading it, and I also keep watching Murphy Napier's videos, so even though a lot of the books that she reads I won't end up reading, I still just really love her content. I think she does a great job. And she was really making Mistborn look intriguing, so I went ahead and read it, and I gotta say, I loved it. I still am not going to be reading a lot of fantasy, but if you're like me and you're not super into fantasy, which I think is a video series that I will probably be doing next year on if you don't read this. But anyways, that's off topic. I'm very distracted by Dimitri licking my fingers right now. Yes, I'm talking about you. I loved this book. I think it's great for fantasy beginners or people who aren't super into the genre. Cannot wait to get the second book started. And speaking of sequels, okay, now I've got a head butter on the other side. I have too many kittens wanting attention. Have you not been fed yet or something? Where was I? Sequel September. Yes. Okay. The Goodreads challenge that I'm doing, or one of the groups on Goodreads is doing a challenge for TBR books for the year. And this month we were supposed to be focusing on sequels, which I have a huge cheat that I will talk about in a second. But I was hoping to start the sequel this month, and that didn't happen. I might start it in October, maybe, possibly, hesitantly. Where's my cheat book? I don't even have all of my books right now. Give me a minute. Okay, let's get back on track here. Fellowship of the Ring. I'm supposed to be reading this for my mom for Christmas. Mom, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I can't. Most of my vlog that I've done for my project for Fellowship of the Ring is on my phone, so I might just end up reshooting that if I decide to stop being lazy and actually do the vlog for this. But if you have not seen my Lord of the Rings project videos yet, I wanted to do a project for my mom where I read through these books and annotated them and drew pictures for them. It went okay with The Hobbit. I am a little over halfway with Fellowship of the Ring, and I just can't do it anymore. I am so bored. I am so bored, and I just don't care. Like I've said before, fantasy is not my genre. High fantasy is definitely not my genre. And man, do I have opinions on this book. Please don't leave me too many hate comments. Personal taste is everything. But as for the cheat that I was talking about, sequel September, I am going to be a terrible person and count this, because Fellowship of the Ring is written in 2 books. The first half is book 1, the second half is book 2, and it's also technically the sequel to The Hobbit, so I'm going to count it so that I can feel semi-accomplished this month. Continuing with the Backlist book challenge, which is where we started with this whole rambling video. Second prompt, go to the library and pick a random shelf and pick a random book. This did not work out so well for me. So the other thing with September is that it's been a 50-50 kind of month. Like, I've either loved what I've read or I've hated what I've read. And I ended up reading The Girl at the Lion Door, which I don't have anymore because it was a library book, and was not good. It's the second French novel that I've ever read, and I've detested both of them. The other one that I read was, I think it was called The Nanny by Layla Slimani. It was not good. Girl at Lion Door was not good. It was all about cheating on people, and I didn't really see the point. So that was like, I gave it 2.5 stars. The writing was good. The story was not. The characters, I just didn't care. Third prompt, TBR book you are least excited for. So if it's on your TBR, you should still be excited for it. It's just the one that you weren't going to reach for anytime soon, sort of a thing. That was The Glass Room. I did not get to this. A classic that you rarely or don't see on BookTube. That was My Antonia. I did not get to this. But I haven't really kept track of Our Shared Shelf recently. That's a Goodreads group with Emma Watson, where she's reading books written by women. She chooses like a book every 2 months. I haven't been keeping up on that lately, and when I checked it, I found that Beloved by Toni Morrison was on there. It's a classic. I don't see it a ton on BookTube, so I could actually count it for this challenge if I finish it by Tuesday, which I might not do. Like, I'm kind of enjoying it, but I'm also not totally getting it, which is just kind of in line with how literary fiction tends to work for me. Like, I can appreciate literary fiction, but it also tends to be written in a way that's not the easiest for me to understand. So if I finish it, I can count it as my classic for this month. So I might get away with that. Read a used book. So I've read several used books, and the point of having a book for each prompt for me was saying, hey, I can just use this for this. What I had for used book, I think, ended up being out. Although that might also be genre I don't typically... genre I don't typically reach for was Mistborn, because it's a fantasy. Mass paperback was Sleep Softly by Gwen Hunter, which I got 3 pages into and thought the writing was horrible, so I gave up on it. But I can count Mistborn as my mass paperback. Out is the used book that I picked, which I just started last night. I'm not super far into this, so once again, I can count it if I finish it by Tuesday. But also as a used book, Beloved is a used book, and Mistborn is a used book. And Leon Dore is a used book because it's a library book and library books are used. See what a cheater I am this month? Book on your TBR the longest was Towelhead. I will link my review of Towelhead in the cards. I absolutely and totally adore this book, and it's awesome, and it got me started on a bunch of bookish sex education video ideas that I want to wait for until next year, but I'm so excited that I might try and stuff them into this year, which would be a really terrible idea because I don't have time for that. But loved it. 5-star read this month. That is it for Backlist Book Challenge, so let's get to the rest of my month. I've watched enough reviews of No Exit by Taylor Adams that I finally got that from the library, and it was amazing and very thrilling. Yeah, loved it. Don't have too much to say about it. I was guessing until like the last couple sentences of the book. That's the kind of book that it was, where you're guessing until the very, very, very end, when it still manages to change it up on you. I only have 2 more. Diagnosis Female is one of the advanced reader copies that I got from NetGalley. I will be doing a separate review for this in the next week or 2. I hated it. Like, it was a very well written book. I highly recommend this book. It's about how being a woman can play a huge part in your medical care. But I also hated it because it really made me think back on my own medical care, which I will be discussing much more in the dedicated review. And it just really pissed me off at how we're treated, how women are told it's all in your head, it's not a big deal, when actually a lot of times it ends up being a really big deal, because this book focuses on the big deals. It focuses on the missed brain tumors, it focuses on the missed chronic illnesses, it focuses on the missed heart diseases. Like, it was scary and it was heartbreaking and it just made me so angry. But that's the kind of book that I end up really loving, because it really gets me to feel like, hey, I need to advocate for this. I need to do something about this. Like, highly recommend. It just also made me angry, but in a good way? I don't know. And last book, The Only Child. It was another advanced reader copy from NetGalley, and I hated it. And it got 1 star, which I think is the lowest Goodreads rating that I've given to a book this year. And in my planner, I gave it a 0.5 star. It was poorly written. It was over wordy. It's supposed to be a thriller, and it's super slow paced, and not like a slow burn, but it's just slow and plotting because the writing is bad and it's over wordy. It was super predictable, which I usually can't predict any outcomes with books or any plot lines with books because I suck at predicting. So if I'm telling you that a book is predictable, then it's predictable. Because, like I said, I can't predict anything. So if I can predict this book, you know it's bad. And also, at the beginning of the story, it really compared the main character to Clarice from Silence of the Lambs, and then a lot of the story ends up following along with some of the main plot points of Silence of the Lambs, so there's also, like, no original thought there. It was just a horrible book, so I feel kind of bad for giving them a 0.5 to 1 star when the book isn't really released yet, but also I can't feel bad for that because that's my personal opinion and the book was given to me for review. So, yeah, like I said, this book was really, or not this book, this month was really 50-50 for me. I've either loved what I've read or I've hated. And the books that I'm in the middle of right now, like, I'm enjoying Beloved and Out well enough. I just don't feel a drive to read them. I just kind of want to get on to my October books. Which really, it's my schedule. I can do what I want with it. So maybe I'll just start my October books a little early. Because I also have to work the next 13 days in a row. So I might as well do something that makes me happy, right? I don't know. I will check in with you later, and we'll see how this goes. As of this video, I will be posting every Sunday, Wednesday. Please like, subscribe, be my friend on social media, ring the bell down below. Leave comments telling me your thoughts. And yes, I will see you on Wednesday. Bye, friends.